Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. We're doing another analysis, and I'm just going to put this on the screen right here. So the reason I show this is because accuracy on Lichess was very high, so I wanted to show that on the chess.com analysis, which is this, and it says 88%. So I got a 98% opening accuracy with a 81 middle game. We didn't reach the end game. He got a 55% middle game accuracy and a 96 opening accuracy. So let's get into the analysis. I'll try to keep it short and sweet in the opening. So plays e5. I play my casual French. You guys have probably seen it on the channel multiple times. So the idea is this, although the problem with the French is that you'll have e6 weaknesses in the French defense. Because it's only going to be defended by the bishop and the weak f pawn, and then soon the opponent could go here, and then you'll have to spend two moves maneuvering your knight towards the center of the board. So, but we didn't do that. He took on d5. I took back. He develops his knight. I developed my knight. So casual French exchanged variation. Now the plan, instead of having this pawn structure and then castling behind it, I'll have this pawn structure, and then supported by both of my bishops that have a decent line of sight. So once again, he adds to the pin. We're still in book. We're still in the course moves. Just pinning. I unpin, and now I'm gonna be the one to castle. And then after he castles, but instead he plays this move, going out of book to attack the pawn here. The plan is very obvious. Just take the knight, remove the defender of the d5. So just take, and then maybe add some more pressure by checking the king, forcing me to play this. So very simple move. So I just develop here just to lock down the center and to keep any infiltration of this, because this can be very annoying at times. So yeah, he plays this. So it's not really worth over explaining. It's just to simply develop his piece so he can castle. I play mine, and then I say, okay, well, he had counterplay. So if we go back a few moves here, he was the one controlling the game. He pinned the knight, forced me to respond. Attacked the pawn, forced me to respond. And now he plays this move. Now I can respond with my own threat here, even though it's not that big of a deal because you can just push the pawn. These are one movers. Try to prevent one movers. If he was castled, it'd be a little bit different. But I do believe the best move would be to castle. Am I right? No, I am not right. So Kabir likes his move a little bit better. Okay. So human move for me would be just to castle and then play this. So that way you create an escape square for the king and attack the bishop. But for now, this just attacks the bishop. It does nothing. Bishop goes back. The pin remains. Now as white, you have a choice here. You can choose to play g4 here. You could choose to play g4 here and extend on the side and maybe even castle this way. So I would play here, and then you can probably take maybe. No, good move. Okay, so not really the best. And then, okay, actually one's here. So pin. And then I have a choice. Now black has a choice here of castling into the pawns and into all of this piece activity. Not these two. These are all of these piece activity. This has this. This has this. This can support, and then this. There's a lot of piece activity on this section of the board right here. And I am not particularly strong with this side. You want to play into the side that you're strongest with. And right now, if we flip the board here, it becomes really obvious which side is better, or which side has more piece activity. Right now, it's still equal. But just to keep you aware of overextensions like this, because it can happen, and sometimes actually computer loves the move. It likes this move, so. But yeah, I just go back. He doesn't play here. Instead, he plays this move, which is okay, but it gives up 0.2 of an advantage. Now, some people don't like walking or looking at computers that often because it teaches inhuman moves. But me personally, I like looking at computers and what's the best move, because this right here even though this is a very human move, it's not that good. Because what you did here is you moved the bishop twice in the opening. He used to have scope over this. Now he does not. So again, best move would have been g4, and then, yeah. So I just castle my king, say, okay, it's fine. I was thinking about this, I was entertaining it, but I decided that king safety was a little bit more important as we were getting to turn 9, and it's recommended to castle before turn 10. Or turn 10 and below. So he plays this, just getting an outpost square. It's very easily stopped, but I choose to actually take here because I see something. So I was hoping he would take with the queen. So I take with the queen. I'm going to develop my rook to e8. What this does is this sets up a very dangerous x-ray. Rook is x-raying the queen from 2 pieces, meaning, if you're not familiar with chess, this means it's potentially attacking the queen through 2 pieces. So if these 2 move, this is pinned to the king. That's what that means, essentially. I could explain a lot better, but that's what we're going with. Castles, again, very wise move. I have yet to push one of my kingside pawns, but I make the first inaccuracy of the game. What I choose to do here is I'm hoping that he just takes, so that way I can take this and win material. He instead blunders and gives away a free bishop. What would have been the best move there? Okay, that's not the move. So what? After this, you just don't take? Oh, right, you don't take. If you take, it's blundered. And then what? Wait, black plays this? No. Interesting. Oh, because you just respond with this. Okay, that makes sense. Oops. I never would have played that. That's an example of like a computer move. Like, computer does this to get a little bit more precise. I have no idea what types of moves those are. Very quiet moves, but anyways, he did not play that. Instead, he gives away his bishop, completely undermining. He wanted to protect the knight because he was afraid I would take, and he didn't really want to trade off these knights. So I think he wanted that knight as a supporting to potentially infiltrate on the king side, or queen side, sorry, my apologies. But he forgot about the knight, or bishop, I keep saying knight, forgot about the bishop, and now we end up in a situation where I have a counterplay and I am winning by 3 points material. Advantage bar is completely in my favor. So it goes here, which I just trade because if you're up, best thing to do is trade. I choose this move to cut off the king's escape square to potentially have a back rank, or set up a back rank, but I knew the best move probably was to move the knight out of the way, because this next move, rooks, after the rook's trade, is that he actually wins a tempo over me, and then I'll go here or even just here. Which is exactly what happens. I move my knight, he takes, I go here, but he chooses actually here. Really? Wait a minute. Hold on. Why is this a good move? Oh, I see it. No, wait. Oh, okay. Clever. Very, very clever. What about this? Okay, that's a mistake. Interesting. Okay, so he actually did have a nice sacrifice here. He still had the sacrifice. And now, I actually make a mistake here by, I went way too fast. Oh my lord. Yeah, so I instead develop my queen here. The idea is to create counterplay on this square. Just nothing more, nothing little, just pressuring this, attacking here, and setting up for maybe even a queen trade if this knight decides to go hunting somewhere, like here. Brings the rook to the open file, smart move. I bring the king over just as to get closer to one of my pieces. I really don't have an explanation. It was a weird move, and I'm looking at it now as weird. But if you're looking at this from white's perspective, let me flip the board over. You really don't have a lot. The king is safe. I mean, you have this push, but you no longer have a white square bishop. You don't even have a black square bishop. And when you have these pawns here, you want to count how many pawns of dark squares and light squares that you have. So right now, I have 4 on the light squares. 4 pawns on light squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 on dark squares. 1, 2, 3. Let's count how many he has. He has 1, 2 on the dark squares. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the light squares. And that's dangerous when your opponent has a bishop. So when you have a light square bishop, and your opponent has his pawns on dark squares, it's very easy to infiltrate the position. Same thing that goes with the dark square bishop here for the light squares. And as you notice, this knight is garbage. It can't go here, 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 or here. Only moves that it can go are backwards. So if he wants to get this knight into the game, he needs to start playing for here. Remember, play the side you're strongest with. In this case, he's strongest with, we'll see here. He has his queen here, he has his knight here. So he's equal on both sides of the board. So me personally, I'm going after the king. I'm playing on this side of the board where I'm strongest with. My apologies. I'm going on this side of the board where I'm strongest with. Potentially even trading the rooks off and then going after the king. But he plays e6, looking for here, which is very clever. I end up instead, I could have gone here. I chose not to. It does create counterplay, but I didn't really like how extensive my apologies. I didn't like how extensive my pieces are, or how extended they are. But he adds more pressure. I defend, and now I have 2 defenders. He has 2 attackers. Problem with this position, from White's perspective, you don't have anything. Going after this bishop to pin the rook is literally the only thing you have. But even if I move the bishop, it's not really pinned. I have 2 defenders on this rook, so I could even move this bishop if I really wanted to after. But he decides to move over, which he's kind of out of ideas here. He's just shuffling pieces around. I instead develop my last piece, my weakest piece, per positional. As positional knowledge, you need to develop your weakest piece, keep an eye on your pawn structure, and make sure your king's safe, which is what I did. King was safe, pieces were good, so I decided, okay, we'll just develop this so I can go here and potentially even just threaten the fork with the queen and the king, so he's forced to respond. He pushes here to try to hunt the king because position's too solid for black. If you're looking here, this is all the counterplay you have. You need to start creating, going after the queen, and doing something. But something actually happens here, and he doesn't do that. Instead, I play this move, which again threatens that. And instead of going for his massive plan of just pushing here, and then after, or not there, sorry. Instead of going after that massive plan of that, oh right, I don't know what I'm thinking. Here, and then, oh, okay, so that wasn't actually a good move. Okay, my apologies. I make mistakes. I thought this was an equal trade, but it's not, because you get the rook and the queen. Anyways, but again, he just shuffles back, trying to cover this weakness now that he created with these 2 squares, because once a pawn moves, everything changes. Something gets weaker. In this case, this pawn moved here to here. What squares get weaker? Well, this square gets weaker. This square gets weaker. This square gets weaker. All because one pawn move, 3 squares, got weaker. So he needs to cover it. So he covers 1, so that's 1. And these 2 are defended by 2 pieces both. So it's not really that much of an overextension. It's just make sure to be wise in pushing pawns, because sometimes they could, go bad. But afterwards, I play here, and out of ideas and seeing an infiltration of the position, because what's going to end up happening is I'm going to infiltrate on this side. If he defends with the knight on here, I'm going to add more pressure, possibly with here. He can't take because he's pinned. If he tries to add more pressure here, it doesn't matter. So the game's already lost. You can try to play for a draw here, which at normal, at like lower rankings, is a wise idea. But you're going to end up losing because that knight is going to be forced to go back. Because if they don't, this is going to happen. Or even just blocking this off, forcing this. But I'm going to give him a check here. Knight goes back. If he doesn't go back, or if he does go back, I go here, adding another pressure. If he doesn't, I'll go here, or he goes here. I'll check him with here. It's defended by the knight. He's going to be forced to go up again. And it's probably going to be over. Because this queen that got attacked, we're going here, this would go here, and then I'll launch a massive assault on the king's position. Because this pawn here, so I'll be able to just infiltrate the position. So it's not that good. So you can still play for it. It's definitely not like it's over. I could have blundered, he could have blundered. So, if you can ignore my yapping at the end there, it's just when you're in a position like this. Let me go back. When you're in a position like this, you don't want to start doing what he did, and that was trading pieces. Because if we just look at the pieces very slowly, a lot of these moves at the end were just moves like 20 all the way to 25. He didn't do anything. Sure, he attacked the bishop. Bishop went back, and then position's just too defendable. This knight is going to go here, infiltrate the position with here and here. You can kick it out, but you get forked. If you don't do that, and you indeed try to defend it, this queen and this bishop and this rook are going to cause trouble on the king side. Just too many threats. So this was a lesson on how to convert your advantage. Trade pieces, win the endgame. If you want to go for tactics, by all means, go for tactics. Make sure for tactics, they should either do two things. Get checkmate or win material. If they don't do either of the two, it's not a good sacrifice. Trust me on that. Those are the two conditions for a good sacrifice. Win material, checkmate the king. Make sure to count attackers as well before doing those tactics. However, that is the end of my analysis. It was a good analysis. It's a good game, I meant. And I hope to see you guys more in the future. I have other videos on how to deal with tactics or tactical players, aggressive players, positional understanding. Me personally, I'm a positional player. If any of you want to challenge me on Elite Chess or just interested in my games, this is my account right here. I'm Elite Chess Patreon. 6 months, and yeah, so that's it. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.